Today on the channel, we are checking out an affordable piece of gear. This is going to be the Lindell Audio LiNTEC EQ. Now, this is based on a Pultec-style EQ, which is traditionally based on a tube design. And those tubes are known to give it that warmth and character and vibe and sauce. But Lindell Audio went a little bit of a different route. Transformers, which is interesting because not only does that bring the price down, it's only $399, but it also gives it its own sonic characteristics. Let's take a listen. All right, I got our session pulled up. This is the band. This is a Revolver, a band I've worked with quite a few times. Fantastic music. LA-based punk rock, female-fronted, and really great guys. They deserve all the attention that they could get. So go stream the song. And also, if you just want to hear something that I've worked on, go stream the song. This would be a good example of that. As of right now, it's got just a touch, a tinge of saturation, but no EQ or anything like that going on. A little bit of compression, a little bit of de-essing. Nothing crazy. Let's go ahead and play the track. And again, no EQing is going on at this moment.
Striking matches in a storm, wouldn't listen though you were warned.
All right, so also fun footnote, this was recorded with a Shure KSM32. You've heard me sing the praises of that microphone so many times, and this is such a classic example as to why I love that mic. Smooth on the top end, full-bodied, sounds really forward. Like, it's just up front sounding. You know, I love that. So, okay, let's go ahead and hit play, and I'm just going to start turning some knobs on the EQ here.
Striking matches in a storm, wouldn't listen though you were warned. Speak in whispers, you wanna scream.
So right now I'm just boosting. That's the only thing I'm doing, and I'm boosting around 8K on the high end. I've got it at a pretty narrow bandwidth. Keep in mind with Pultec-style EQs, it's not like sharp, like surgical, like an SSL. It's a little bit more broad, even at its sharpest. So it's not surgical. But I'm just pushing up like 8K, like those presence frequencies, and loving the presence that it's adding into that vocal without doing anything else at all. Let me just hit play, and I'm just going to bypass and go back and forth.
What you hide begs to be seen. You're at war with yourself. Look around, there's no one else.
That sounds so good. And I'm cranking it a little bit too. This is all the way up to 6. And honestly, this is my experience. This is something that I've noticed with a lot of EQs, outboard EQs, especially those that are based on tubes or transformers, which this one is transformer based. It does saturate the signal to the point of even when you take it too far, it doesn't sound like it's too far. Like if you took a plug-in to like higher levels, it can be grating on the ears. But there's something about outboard gear that does not do that. Like plugins, you have to be subtle. And with outboard stuff, you don't have to. Here, let's just dime it. Let's see what that does.
Striking matches in a storm.
I mean, it's too much, but it's not like grating. Here, I'm gonna take it back. Let's go to 6-ish, which is where I had it.
Wouldn't listen though you were warned. Speak in whispers, you wanna scream. What you hide begs to be seen. You're at war with yourself. Look around, there's no one else.
I mean, that does sound great. Okay, I am liking the settings that I've got right now. So low frequency, I've got it 150, boosting at 1, attenuating at 1. It does have just A little bit of the low mid buildup, which I'm hearing it around 250, 300-ish. So attenuating out a little bit of that. Bandwidth on the high end, I've got that pretty much at halfway, so somewhat broad. Boosting up at 8K by about 6, and then I'm not going to attenuate anything on the high end. Although let's try and
striking matches in a storm. Wouldn't listen though you were warned.
I mean, I don't hate that, but like, that's not really what I'm looking to do. If it was more of like a classic sounding recording, maybe I'd mess with the attenuate and push into the high frequency a little more. Okay, let's just A-B back and forth.
Speak in whispers, you wanna scream. What you hide begs to be seen. You're at war with yourself. Look around, there's no one else. Send me away. Hold your shame. Don't be afraid, but you get what you give. Now I'm taking an eye for an eye.
That sounds great. I mean, God, you can't really go wrong. Like outboard EQs that are based on transformers, custom transformer on the input and output, like it just sounds good and musical. I really like that. So a stamp of approval on a vocal. Let's take a look at something else. All right, real quick before we move on. So a couple of things. Number one, if you have not subscribed to this channel yet, you should. There's a lot of really exciting videos coming up. Prime example, the Neumann U87 finally came in, which I am excited about. I don't get to keep it. The reason why is because I'm doing this big shootout video between the Neumann, the Roswell, the Dachmann, the Warm Audio, the United Studio Technologies, all of their 87 style microphones. We're going to do a big head-to-head shootout. You see, I really want to give you the best possible content that I can, so subscribe so you do not miss that. And then the last thing, if you are interested in this Lindell Audio LiNTEC EQ, use the links that I have down below. If you want to say thank you to this channel, that is the single biggest way to say thank you, because that does give me a kickback whenever you purchase using those links. So consider it if you are considering it. All right, let's keep going. All right, so I got a bass DI track pulled up here that we're going to use. Bass DI is like one of my favorite use cases for a Pultec-style EQ for a couple of reasons. Number one, the low-end trick. It's not a trick, but in the original Pultec manual, it said, do not boost and attenuate at the same time. You got this boost and attenuate. So it's a boost and a cut at the same time. It wasn't designed for that use, and they basically said that, but what's one of the first things that we did as engineers? Boost and attenuate, because we're rebels and a little bit of mad scientists, so...
Of course we did.
But what that does, and from what I understand, the boost is a low shelf, but the cut is also a low shelf.
And this is also a shelf, right? And this and this here is a shelf and this is a peak?
No, they're both shelves.
They're both shelves.
Yeah. But because of the difference in frequencies, then when you do this, you get kind of a peak at 80.
Yeah.
And then you get a little dip at 200.
Aha, so this is actually higher than this.
Yeah.
And so when you are boosting and cutting at the same time, it kind of gives you this boost and then a smiley face EQ curve, which can just suit the bass guitar so well. It just gives you so much low-end information, but cleans it up at the same time. And then the high end is so musical. You're going to hear me say that so many times. But yeah, let's just hit play. Let's listen to the bass DI without anything on it first. I mean, it's a bass DI. It sounds like a P bass. I can always pick out a P bass. And dead strings or flat wounds and even rolling back on the tone is what that sounds like to me. But the thing is, he's also using this pick, and I'm going to want to pick up that pick for all that rhythmic work that he's doing in there. I don't want that to get lost. So, yeah, let's start turning some knobs. Engage. Yeah, you hear that low end? Oh my gosh. If you're curious about how much low end this has, I am too, actually. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that's too much. But nonetheless, that is so smooth on the low end. Let's find a nice sweet spot in there. I like that. All right. Now let's bring out some of the high end. All right, I like that. So let's talk about it. So we're, of course, boosting and attenuating. I'm attenuating more than I'm boosting. Again, I got to make space for that pick work, right? Then for the high end, I am boosting at 4K, and I've got it dimed. Another classic example of, mix with your ears, not your eyes, as they say. I mean, listen, if you can dime an EQ like that and it's not grating on your ears, that says something about the EQ. Also, it's being sent through transformers, which are also saturating, which really helps with not making it just, on your ears. And then, so we're boosting that up pretty wide bandwidth. And then we're scooping out a lot that's above 16K because there's just nothing up there that we're going to need. So let's just go A-B back and forth, bypassed and engage, and let's listen to the difference. I mean, these are not subtle EQ curves, but that does sound like a difference that is as drastic as listening to somebody playing in the other room and then walking into that other room. That's what it sounds like when I literally engage the EQ. Here, listen with me. They're playing in the other room. And now you're in the room. That sounds super good. Okay, stamp of approval on bass. I think that actually sounds super good. Let's move on. All right, so I got a kick drum track pulled up. Now, I love using Pultec-style EQs for kick drum, almost for the same reasons why I like to use it for bass guitar as well. So it can give the low end kind of that bigness and that saturation and fullness, and can hit you in the chest and rumble, but it's not muddy. It's not overwhelming, right? It kind of cleans up the low end in a way. And then the top end, it's musical. I know you're going to hear me say that 100 times, but the top end on this thing is musical. And I like to actually use the top end controls to help dial in a little bit of that kick, point, that kick attack. Not everybody does. I do. I like it. So we're going to play with it a little bit, but let's listen to the kick drum on its own. I've got the LiNTEC bypassed. The kick does have a little bit of saturation and a gate on, but that's about it. So here, let's listen. So yeah, sounds good, right? All right, so let's engage the LiNTEC and see if we can get this thing to rumble. Whoa. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that overall. Oh, there's the fast part. Well, let's use the fast part. All right, I'm just going to A-B this back and forth. So starting with it bypassed. Whew. Yeah, that does sound super good. And looking at the controls, so I've got it at 60 hertz. I am boosting at 6. I'm attenuating all the way up to 8. I've got the bandwidth on the high end as sharp as it possibly could go. Again, stays relatively wide. I've got that boosted at 8, and then my attenuation at 20K is at 7. It's almost like I was like, let's just turn all the knobs and see how it sounds. And it sounds great. You can take this thing into like crazy territory. That surprises me with how good that sounds. Lindell audio is interesting to me. You see, we, as engineers, we can find ourselves, and I do this too, chasing after like pieces of legacy gear. The API preamp, the SSL console, the U87 microphone, if you like that flavor of microphone. And of course, the Pultec EQ, right? But there's this other side to it that we don't talk about enough, which is if we're all chasing after those legacy pieces of gear, we can end up chasing our tails looking for something that's going to get us like 95% of the way there, right? And what ends up happening is we all end up making really similar sounding stuff. And to me, this day and age, I tend to value unique sounds more than exact replicas of those legacy pieces of gear, you know? So that's why I think the LiNTEC is so interesting. It's like they knew that there was other brands that would make a copy that would be tube-based that would get you close to what you were chasing after. But Lindell Audio said, you know what? We're actually going to throw transformers in this thing. That's going to help bring the price point down, keep it affordable, which is always appreciated. But it's also going to give it its own sonic characteristic and signature, which to me is a major plus. I don't know. What did you think about it? You've heard this thing in action now. Did you like it? Or did you absolutely hate it? Like, please, I am curious to know what everybody's thoughts are. Like the video if you got something out of this. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And, of course, if you are considering purchasing this item, I have links down below. They are affiliate links that do give me a kickback. I very much appreciate you if you purchase using those links. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one.